Welcome. Explore history's captivating killers and thieves. Subscribe, like, and share to join our thrilling journey. How did Yuri Harris and Samantha Grantham, a seemingly ordinary couple, find themselves at the center of a major criminal investigation? Our story starts with Yuri Harris, a man with a past tainted by criminal charges and a present overshadowed by the label of a felon. Samantha Grantham, on the other hand, is a woman whose life was intertwined with Harris's in ways more than one. She was his wife, his partner, and, as it would later be revealed, an accomplice in his crimes. Theirs was a relationship that, to the outside world, appeared to be like any other. They were seen as just another couple, living out their lives in the sprawling city of Tallahassee, Florida. Those who knew them would often describe them as ordinary, with nothing that stood out as unusual or sinister. But beneath this facade of normalcy, a storm was brewing. Unbeknownst to their friends, family, and neighbors, Yuri and Samantha were on a path that would lead them away from the ordinary and into the realm of the criminal. Their lives, as they knew it, were about to be upended. Little did anyone know, their lives were about to take a dark and dangerous turn. One fateful night, a home invasion in Oxbow would forever change the lives of Yuri, Samantha, and an unsuspecting 25-year-old victim. The evening was like any other until darkness fell, and a sinister plot unfolded. Yuri Harris, a man with a criminal past, and his wife Samantha Grantham, were about to tread a path that would lead them to the heart of a horrifying crime. Yuri, on a mission to recover what he believed to be money owed to him, was driven to the victim's home by Samantha. It was here that the peaceful tranquility of the night was shattered. Yuri, armed and dangerous, stormed into the house. The events that followed were a chilling blend of fear, violence, and ultimately, a life abruptly ended. The aftermath of the crime was as shocking as the invasion itself. The victim, a young man with his entire life ahead of him, was discovered lifeless, a tragic casualty of Yuri's ruthless pursuit for retribution. The home, once a haven of safety, was now a crime scene, tainted by the brutal act of home invasion. In the initial stage of the investigation, the police were faced with a gruesome scene. A revolver, the instrument of the deadly act, was left behind, a silent witness to the terror that had unfolded. As the law enforcement officers meticulously combed through the crime scene, they were beginning to piece together the fragments of a crime that had shaken the city to its core. The revolver became a crucial piece of evidence. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement, through DNA analysis, was able to establish a connection between the weapon and Yuri. This discovery was the first significant breakthrough in the case, setting the investigation on a trajectory that would eventually lead to Yuri and Samantha. In the wake of the crime, a city was left shocked, and a path of evidence was beginning to point in one direction. As the investigation unfolded, the evidence began to pile up against Yuri and Samantha. It was like a chilling jigsaw puzzle, each piece fitting in flawlessly, painting a grim picture of the crime. The key to solving the puzzle was a revolver, a seemingly ordinary object, but one that would turn out to be the cornerstone of the case. The revolver was found at the crime scene, and it wasn't just a silent witness, it was a loud, screaming proclamation of guilt. It was the smoking gun, literally and figuratively. But this was not just any revolver. This was the same weapon that had been used in 5 convenience store robberies, all of which Yuri and Samantha were charged with. The revolver was like an ominous thread, weaving together the tapestry of their crimes. However, the revolver was just the beginning. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement had a trump card up their sleeve: DNA analysis. The revolver was swabbed, and the DNA results were nothing short of a revelation. The analysis linked Yuri to the shooting, making him the prime suspect. It was like a neon sign, pointing directly at Yuri and Samantha. The DNA evidence was the final piece of the puzzle, the irrefutable proof that sealed their fate. Adding to the damning evidence was Samantha's own confession. She admitted to investigators that she drove Yuri to the victim's home. She was the wheelwoman, the accomplice, her actions as incriminating as the DNA evidence itself. Her confession was the final nail in the coffin, the last stroke on the canvas of their crime. The evidence was damning, and soon both Yuri and Samantha found themselves in handcuffs. The truth had been unraveled, and it was as dark and twisted as the crimes they committed. Their fate was sealed, their guilt as clear as day. The revolver, the DNA, and the confession, together, they painted a chilling portrait of 2 individuals who had strayed far beyond the boundaries of law and decency. With Yuri and Samantha in custody, the full extent of their criminal activities started to come to light. Yuri Harris, Samantha's husband, was hit with a barrage of charges. The list was long and gruesome: murder, home invasion robbery, burglary, and possession of a weapon by a felon. Each word, each charge, painted a chilling picture of a man who had strayed far from the path of law and order. But Samantha Grantham was not just an innocent bystander caught in the crossfire of her husband's crimes. She was far more entangled in the web of deceit and violence than it initially seemed. The law enforcement didn't take long to charge Samantha with being an accessory to the shooting that ended a life, that brought terror to a home, that shook a community to its core. Samantha was no mere passenger in this grim journey. She was in the driver's seat, literally. Investigators discovered that Samantha had driven Yuri to the victim's home. She claimed it was to pick up money owed to him, but the outcome was far more sinister, far more fatal than a simple debt collection. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement had their smoking gun, quite literally. A revolver left at the scene of the crime was the key that unlocked the truth. DNA analysis linked the weapon to Yuri, securing his connection to the crime beyond any reasonable doubt. But Samantha's involvement didn't stop at being the getaway driver. The same revolver, the instrument of their downfall, was the common thread that wove together their shared history of crime. It was used in 5 convenience store robberies that both Yuri and Samantha were charged with. Yet, the full details of Samantha's charges remained shrouded in mystery, hidden behind sealed documents. The story of Yuri and Samantha, a tale of crime and punishment, was far from over. But that wasn't all. The story was about to take an even more shocking turn. The revolver that linked Yuri and Samantha to the Oxbow murder was no stranger to crime. It was not just a silent witness to a single night's tragic event, but a tool that played a part in a series of crimes that shocked the community. The same revolver that was used in the home invasion was also used in 5 convenience store robberies. Yes, you heard it right, 5. This was no isolated incident. The crime spree carried out by Yuri and Samantha was a calculated and terrifying series of events that left a trail of fear in their wake. These robberies were not just simple grab-and-go thefts. They were dangerous, armed robberies where the weapon in question, the revolver, played a central role. The same firearm that ended a young man's life in the Oxbow home invasion was brandished threateningly in the faces of innocent store clerks, instilling fear and a lingering sense of insecurity in those who were unfortunate enough to cross paths with Yuri and Samantha. The discovery of this information had a significant impact on the case. It painted a picture of a couple who were not just involved in a one-off act of violence, but who were deeply entangled in a life of crime. It was a damning piece of evidence, one that made it increasingly difficult for anyone to believe in their innocence. It's important to understand this wasn't just about the robberies or even the murder. It was about the erosion of safety, the shattering of trust, and the reminder that danger can lurk where we least expect it. The case of Yuri Harris and Samantha Grantham serves as a chilling reminder of how quickly lives can spiral out of control. The story of Yuri Harris and Samantha Grantham rocked the city to its core. What began as a seemingly ordinary couple spiraled into a tale of deceit, crime, and shocking violence. Their actions, from cold-blooded murder to a series of audacious robberies, sent shockwaves through the community. The city was left grappling with a sense of fear and disbelief, as the face of evil took on a disturbingly familiar form. The impact of their crimes was far-reaching, leaving a stain on the city's collective consciousness. It was a stark reminder that darkness can reside in the most unexpected places, lurking beneath the veneer of normalcy. The trust among neighbors was shattered, replaced by a chilling sense of vulnerability. The city, however, refused to be defined by this tragedy. It rallied, showing resilience in the face of adversity. The community united, seeking justice and striving to rebuild the trust that was lost. As we reflect on the story of Yuri and Samantha, we are reminded of the profound impact that such heinous acts can have on a community. As the city continues to heal, the story of Yuri and Samantha serves as a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of everyday life.